Half Shell Oyster House offers happy hour at the bar and throughout the restaurant every day from 3 to 6 p.m. Happy hour includes $2 off all glasses of wine, liquor, martinis, mixed drinks, and draft beer, $2.50 on all domestic bottled beer, and $3.50 on all craft bottled beer. So come on out to Half Shell Oyster House, located at 115 Lower Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232, or you can give them a call at 769-257-7586. And hey, tell them Sonya sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonya, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Today is pretty special for me because these two people are like family to me. I mean, we met at Jackson State, and we, through the love of music, just became family, period. Just became family. I mean, I'm not I'll get into that. I can MC a little bit, but.
Leave that alone, son. Leave that alone. Leave that alone.
No, I'm gonna let you hear it. But please welcome my friends, my family, EP, the Hellcat, and OlSkool Ice-Gre, the dynamic duo of Abstract Mindstate. Hey. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, what's really good around this thing?
I know. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show, because the album has just come out and y'all are truly busy. So thanks for taking this time to talk to me. I thought I was gonna have to fight Lee, but he worked it out. He keep y'all on a tight leash.
Man.
Right.
What's up, brother? What's up, Lee?
Majors.
Right. So tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. EP.
EP the Hellcat, aka the White Lotus, aka female half of Abstract Mindstate, residing west side of Chicago, born and raised, still here now.
I'm laughing because EP just look like a talking head. It ain't nothing but a head right there. It's just a head.
You know what?
It was just a head.
Oh yeah.
You was looking like this, EP. It was just a head.
Like in living color.
Talking heads. Remember that?
Yeah, the talking head.
In living color. So silly.
The old school 80s group.
My neck look kind of slim.
Boy.
Okay. Well, see, you didn't eat that that rice and
Okay. Right.
And I want some tacos so bad, but I'm not gonna do it.
Don't do
Greg,
it.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. OlSkool Ice-Gre, Southside, Chicago, representing that Chicago all day. Living out in LA, living a dream, moved to, to a dream city so I can make some dreams come true. How I go. J-State, representative,
Same duo.
Absolutely. Same duo. So, Greg, before we get into the meat of the show, tell the listeners how you and EP met and how Abstract Mindstate became to be.
Yeah. So how Abstract, first how me and EP met was the famous story is us trying to catch this train ride home from Jackson State, and me and Cuzzo had like garbage bags full of liquor, full of different libations, and we overheard EP talking to her people that she was with, saying, man, she forgot her liquor. And that's when Lee leaned in and said, liquor, opened the bag and said, you ain't even got to worry about nothing, we got that, you drink it with us. So that was the beginning of us like connecting. And
right.
So and that was like well before Abstract, because Abstract was like a series of failed situations with my group, the Peace Posse, which it didn't, it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved on to something called Mad Skills, and that included another male MC. We kind of had a configuration similar to the Fugees or Diggable Planets at that time.
Okay.
And that didn't work out, and it was kind of just me and EP. And by the time that second thing didn't work out, our whole mind state was on another page, because when Mad Skills didn't work out, we had like, it was kind of almost like a tragic ending because one of the members of the group, you know, ended up going to prison, and you know, and we just was in a different mind state. So we wanted something, a name that matched the music and where we felt like we was going, or where we were anyway as MCs, because we always was abstract and like misfits. We felt like we didn't really fit in.
And all of that stuff that was going on, it was always me and him that was left.
Yeah.
In. So,
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It was always us. So that what would happen. Like every time a change would happen, it just kind of left me and EP together. And we just, you know, outside of my very first rap partner suggesting, we didn't listen to him then, but he did suggest that me and her be a group because he said we sound great together. And that was because we had done a song featuring EP, and he was like, man, y'all really sound good together. Y'all should be a group because you still in it and I'm not as in it as I used to be. And, you know, we heard that, but we still tried a couple of other things before we got to Abstract. And once we realized it always ended up being me and her, we said, you know what? We can't put a group together. We are the group. Yep. That's what it was. We was trying to put groups together, and it just, you know, it didn't work. It didn't work. So we said, we went with what was there. We was like, man, we're the group, you know? So boom, the Abstract Mindstate was born. And the funny story about it was we had so many ideas for names, and we was writing down different names that we wanted. And Abstract Mindstate and another name, Misfits of Dialogue, which it was a whole bunch of other ones. Not a whole bunch, it was about 6, you know, that we picked. You know, me and EP always do things even. I picked 3 of my favorites that we kept throwing out there. She picked 3 of her favorites, and we put them in the hat, and we said, we're gonna take our favorite names and we're gonna pull 2 and choose one of the 2. She pulled 1, I pulled 1, and I don't know who pulled what, but one of us pulled Abstract Mindstate, the other pulled the Misfits of Dialogue. And we liked both of those so much, we decided to call ourselves Abstract Mindstate, the Misfits of Dialogue. But, you know, over time, you know how long names are, kind of like, you know, William ends up being Bob, and, you know, Robert ends up being Bob, and William ends up being Bill. And, you know, everybody always shortened it. So we ended up dropping the Misfits of Dialogue and just kept rocking with Abstract Mindstate. So, you know, here we are.
You know, that's interesting, how you guys were trying to, you were always in front of each other. It was always there, and you was trying to do something else. But, you know, when we were in Miami a few weeks ago, I went to the documentary. And first of all, y'all, the documentary is fire. I mean,
oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And what's amazing to me, how when it comes to your city, please go check it out. But what's amazing to me, how it's so inspirational, and especially for people who are moving to different careers at this time in their life, or going back to a first love like you guys are doing. Right. And sometimes society tell us that it can't happen. You're too old, or you're too this. And you have to realize, y'all, this group is over 20 years old and have moved on with their life. Yeah. Is doing different things because of, you know, life, just period. So what's amazing to me, and like you said, you know, you're a female-male duo. You don't see a lot of that. Now you see collabs. You see Foxy Brown, Jay-Z, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, her husband and his group, but you don't see a group. Now, only group, female and male group I knew was Digital Planets as far as rapping.
Diggable Planets.
Digital, what did I say?
Diggable.
What did I say?
You said digital. You said digital.
Child, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, whatever.
Diggable Planets.
But are they was it another group out like that?
Fugees?
No, there was the Fugees.
She sang too though.
No. Lauren was an actual in the Fugees.
I know she's an
MC.
I know, but I'm saying she sings.
Now later on she sang mostly with a little rap, but she started off all rap with a little singing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, those 2 groups, but you don't see a lot of female-male duo hip hop groups out there. And
there
were actually somebody there, none exists. No duos exist.
Wow.
We're the only duo in hip hop, period. Like
ever.
In 48 years of hip hop, there's never been a male-female duo. We've gotten a trio twice.
Yeah.
But no duo.
No duo.
No duo.
Interesting.
we gotten collabs, like you said, lots of collaborations, but
It's
of
coming now. It's coming now. You know that, don't you?
Oh,
yeah, somebody gonna do it now.
Yeah.
absolutely. So EP, what, even though, and you kind of answered it earlier, but Greg, you were with Stew Pot Stowaways at first, and I still don't. I know it was a lot of y'all, so I really.
It was a lot.
It
EP
was
was
a
in the
lot
stew
of
pot
y'all,
too.
huh?
She was in there too. She
You
was
were
in
in
the
it
stew pot
too?
too.
Mm-hmm.
It was so many I can't remember. But when was it just like? How did it feel being, like your journey becoming EP? How did it feel becoming you, and then just like with these dudes? And did you ever picture yourself being in a group, or were you just wanting to be an MC by yourself?
I didn't want to be, I didn't think about being an MC. I used to do it just as a hobby.
Okay.
I didn't do it. I did it because I like to write. And for me, writing was therapeutic. And it was fun to write, and I was good at it, and people told me I was good at it. So when I started off as doing it. It was just a straight hobby. And when I met OlSkool and Lee Majors and the rest of what became the Stew, it was like I was thrown into this mix where I was accepted, right? Like, because I had left my family, here in Chicago, and I was accepted for something that was easy for me to do. And I didn't have to struggle at it. I didn't have to work at it. And so I always say that, like, they saw something, and still do, saw something in me as far as writing that I never saw. And I never thought of it as a profession. It took a while before it got to the point where I thought not the group, was good enough to be doing this professionally, right? And so what happened when Abstract Mindstate, when we started getting all these different accolades and all of these different, winning all of these different contests and stuff like that, like, I slowly started getting convinced that, like, okay, this is something, this is a profession. Like, this is, music is sounding really good. People are appreciating it. Maybe this is something that to build a life on. And so at first, definitely not serious though, Sonia. Definitely wasn't serious about it. It was fun times hanging out and drinking with a bunch of guys, because I didn't like really hanging around girls, so it was just a bunch of guys hanging around, drinking, listening to hip hop, all the things that I did with my cousins here in Chicago. So it was just like being transported, to a different place, but the same type of space. So
wow,
it was dope.
that's interesting. I never knew that. Greg, tell us how the comeback came to fruition.
Yeah, so basically it wasn't, well, in my head, it wasn't a Abstract Mindstate thing. I was as an A&R, with Kanye and his situation. I was a good A&R, good music. I've done that role with him. Like, I would leave and come back. I did it about 3 times. And the last time that I did it is when we were working on these 5 albums in Wyoming, and Kanye put out an album a week, and there was one from Pusha T, one from Kid See Ghost, which was him and Cudi as a group. It was his album, Yay. Then it was Nasir album, and then we ended it with Tiana Taylor. So during the beginning process of those recordings, we were working on, Daytona was starting, Pusha was working on Daytona, and Kanye had an engineer by the name of Noah Goldstein, and he came, Kanye and him was bouncing around about coming up with an idea for something that represents like everything related to sound associated with Kanye. And Noah came, actually the one that came up with the name Yeezy Sound. He brought it to the table, and he was like, and Kanye liked the Yeezy Sound. That was the thing. That was like, it could be a record label. It could be, we were about to start doing speakers at the time and audio equipment and everything related around sound. Even it was even going to be a streaming platform. All of that was supposed to be incorporated under this thing called Yeezy Sound. And so the only thing that really, through all of that, the only thing is obviously that actually came out of it was the actual music side of it, like releasing some music, albums and stuff. So what happened was I ended up calling Kanye. I mean, I end up trying to help Kanye get out of a writer's block. This was how this whole situation was born. I actually sent him our music. Who actually started it was EP's cousin. His name is Duran, and he pressed me about listening to our old music. And at the time, I was in A&R mode, trying to help Kanye get out of writer's block, trying to be a creative force as an A&R with all of the projects we were about to start working on. You know, I'm trying to find writers for the Tiana project and just being really active as an A&R. And he was pressing me to listen to our stuff. And I was just like, man, I ain't got time to be going back to, listening to that right now, Duran. He was like, I'm telling you, man, you got to listen to this. I listen to y'all song Sacrifice every day. Ever since y'all put this mixtape out called Chicago's Hardest Working Volume 2, he was like, I listen to Sacrifice every day. But the mixtape, is my favorite, but I listen to that one song. So he said, well, okay, if you ain't got time to listen to the whole mixtape, at least listen to Sacrifice. And he pressed it long enough till I said, you know what, Duran, all right, I'm gonna listen to it. And I'm a guy that pretty much do what I say. So when I hung up from him, I didn't want to just I said that just to get off the phone, like I lied. So just for my own energy, and I know the energy in the universe and God, everybody's watching. I care about that, my truth. So I'd say I got to listen to it. I can't just tell them, all right, and then hang up like, ah, sucker, I got you off the phone. So I played the I played the song. And I was vibing out to my own music, And what's funny is when I always talk about listening to my own music, it's easy for me to listen to Abstract Mindstate because I have a partner. So it's like, it's another voice for me to listen to. I got EP, I can listen to, I don't have to listen to myself like that unless I'm just trying to critique how I, laid a verse down. But other than that, I get to enjoy it like everybody else because there's another person there. So it sounds like I'm listening to a group, so because it's EP and this guy, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm vibing out to us, and I felt like the record, the mixtape ended up playing from that song all the way back to that song again. It just played all the way around. And then I was like, wow, I felt this energy to want to pick up the pen and write a rap. And I felt like, man, how did that happen? Like this thing moved me to want to write. So a light bulb went off. I said, okay, if this made me want to write, and I'm sitting here trying to get Kanye out of a writer's block, this thing is so hip hop and feels so good. Maybe if I send it to him, it'll make him want to write. And that was my whole concept. Like I thought I had found like some kind of conduit to start him to pick the pen up, or however he wanted to do it. Because sometimes he writes it down. A lot of times he just says it over and over until he knows it. But either way, I felt like I can get him sparked up, is what we call it. Man, I sent this music to him. I sent the link. I literally, right in that moment, I text the link to his phone. And that was about 3:00. And we still had a few hours within the day. And he never responded. He was over on the other side of this place called the Energy Center, which was his creative space. The Energy Center was where he worked on Yeezy designs and shoes and anything related to Yeezy. And then there was another side that was actually a full-fledged studio. And that's where most of the music guys and A&Rs, all us, we hung out in the studio. So he never responded to that. So I ended up leaving for the day, and I get a call at 6 in the morning. And he was like, yo, now mind you, I just told you all we was playing with this idea, this Yeezy sound thing that Noah came up with and that Kanye liked and, decided we're going to go with that. He said, yo, I got an idea of who I want to represent Yeezy sound. So I'm like, okay. So I'm surprised that he calling me at 6 in the morning, because I thought he would be getting some rest, because he's like, he burns the candle like he's trying. Kanye operates like he's still trying to get on, so I was like, wow, he up. So I said, what's up? And when he said that, it made me sit up, because I thought we was about to talk creative, because he said, yeah, I know who I want to represent Yeezy sound. I was like, okay. I set up like, all right, so what's up? Like, okay, we about to talk shop. What's good? He said, man, I want Tiana Taylor. I said, I said, okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And he said, and mind you, at this time, we were 5 albums away from Tiana. We wasn't even concentrating on her project yet. So it was enough time to think that this could be a reality. And then he said, an Abstract Mindstate. And I just started laughing. because I really thought if he was joking, you know, because little to most people don't know because he seems so serious looking in from the outside, but Kanye is actually like a jokester. So I thought he was joking. I thought it was one of his jokes, and he just cracked. And I was like, ha ha. I tried to like laugh through it, and he just talked right over my laughing. Like, yeah, man. EP said a line that beautiful but hard to learn, like Arabic alphabet. And then he said, and then you said a line that went, who would have thought that making some dough could turn you into something that people don't know? He was like, man, those are God level lyrics. Man, I want to sign Abstract Mindstate, get y'all a deal and put y'all back out. And I was like, and he said it just like that. And I was like, boy.
So when he said that, were you silent for a minute, or what did you do?
I laughed again.
You were still laughing?
I was still laughing because I'm like, the way we joke and mess around.
Okay, right.
I really thought like, you know,
He's
this
kidding.
was part of some, or just a 6 a.m. joke, you know, and I'm laughing and he didn't laugh. And then I said, dude, and you know, in my laugh, I said, dude, are you serious? And he said, yes, bruh. Like that. He said it like, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, you really want me to, I said, yo, I said, you really want me to call EP? Like, you serious about this? He was like, yeah. I said, man, you think the world ready for some 40-something-year-old rappers? And he was like, that's exactly what they're ready for. The world need Abstract Mindstate. Y'all gonna heal people and save lives. And I was like, yo, so now it's not being funny to me anymore. I said, dude, you serious? Right. He said, yes. I said, so you want me to call EP and get her on a plane, call a travel agent and put her on a plane to come out here right now? He said, right now. I said, you know, and that's like I did on the documentary. I was like, right now. He said, right now. This is what I did on the doc is funny because it really happened. I was like, we went back and forth with this right now, right now, right now. And then I said, right now. And by the time we went through that back and forth a few times, he said, well, not while I'm on the phone, you know, hang up and just, you know, hang up and call her. And then I had to do the same thing with her, like the same 15 minutes.
Stop right there because I want to get hurt now. EP. So when Greg calls you, that tell the now how long had it been since you guys had talked? Because y'all hadn't been like talking all the time.
No,
not like every day. No, we haven't been talking.
It had been a minute. It had been a minute. A year though. I think we had maybe talked a couple of months prior.
Okay, so it wasn't no big deal of him calling you. You know, like. Yeah, okay.
Not even at that particular time in the morning, because he called me really early in the morning as well.
Right.
Yeah.
When he called me, Sonia, he pretty much had to convince me the same way Ye had to convince him that it was something that's like he was serious about, you know. And I was going through some things with some family things, you know. My dad was dying, and so like. I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't thinking about music anyway. I had just, you know, digested the fact that, you know, music was out of my system. A couple of days prior, I said that to myself in the mirror. Like, this is a true story. Everything you all saw in the documentary is a true story, like everything. And so for me, it was like Gre telling me everything, you know, that Ye want to do. And I had to tell Greg what was going on in my life at that time, you know. And so, you know, is he serious, you know? But the only person that could really convince me that they were serious was him. So, so I agreed to come out there. I think this has like been a Monday or Tuesday. So I got out there that following Saturday. And so the first thing I did, Sonia, when I got to the Energy Center, when I met with him, you know, I hugged him because we hadn't seen each other ever.
Right.
I'm talking about Ye. And I was like, you know, don't have me coming out here if you're not committed, you know. And I had to relay to him the same way I did to OlSkool, like what was going on in my life personally.
Right.
So it wasn't really time to be playing at music, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless committed. And he said that he was committed. And when he said that, I believed him. And so I think we started working the next day. We came back to the studio the next day. And I didn't, I mean, when Gre told me about it, I believed him, but you know, he's not the one that's spearheading the project.
Right.
So I needed to speak to Captain, you know what I mean? So
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 did you, and my condolences to you. I didn't get a chance to tell you in Miami because everybody was trying to get to y'all. But did you get a chance to share with him what was going on and how did he feel about it?
my dad always loved the music. He always loved the music. I think when I was cleaning his apartment and stuff, I think I found one of our tapes in his apartment. But my dad was like, well, he's one of those guys. He was one of those guys that like, what can you do here? Like you can't, you know what I mean? The only thing you can do is be here. And that's what I did. I just bouncing back and forth, recording some songs, go back with my dad, record some songs, go back with my dad. And I was with my dad when he passed. I was holding my dad's hand when he passed. Yeah. It's something.
So he approved of it. He supported you.
Oh, my whole family have supported Abstract Mindstate.
Yeah. That's a blessing. And what, and guys, y'all have to realize they had, like I said earlier, they had moved on with their life. Greg, like he was saying, he was doing AR work. EP, what do you do? What's your career?
ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis.
Yeah, I mean, completely away from music. And it's my uncle in Chicago used to always tell me, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And you said 2 or 3 days before that, you was like, I'm done with music. He was like, oh, okay. That's cute. So let's see how this goes.
Right.
So guys, how does it feel with having Kanye, a true visionary, a lyrical genius, believe in Abstract Mindstate like that, to the point where he has, I mean, y'all, when was the last time y'all actually performed before this occurred?
Oh man.
Early
put it
2000s?
Like this. 2005 was our last project. So that was what,
wow.
16 years ago. So because Chicago's Hottest Worker, we used to perform that mixtape a lot, the songs from that mixtape. So it had to be in 05. So we about 16 years removed from the stage. Just that's like, crazy. Recording up until, a few years ago,
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So how does it feel for him to believe in y'all like that and pushing, for you to this, a part of your destiny? Because this is destiny.
It's, know what, we always believed in ourselves.
Absolutely.
The way that he does. And we always knew that our message was something that the world needed to hear. We always knew that we brought something to the table. And the difference in him knowing it is that his level of access and resources was immensely beyond what we ever had.
Right.
So we like that didn't change our belief in each other and our belief in Abstract Mindstate. That didn't waver, like it never did. And I didn't find out until we started doing this project how he felt about the group. Like even back then, like that was something that wasn't known to me.
Wow.
So
and I learned over time, like I didn't know as long as I've known him how he felt about the group. It took some people in our collective lives. Actually, Extreme. It's a brother named Extreme. He's a multi-platinum producer and a very good friend of ours, and he produced a couple of records on everything at least our albums. Our last album, Still Paying, he gave us what we felt was two of our strongest records, and because he gave us My Music EP. That was both of our favorites. But Extreme was the one that gave us the insight, or gave me the insight before I was able to share with EP, of how much Kanye was into us before we just even knew. Because he, I mean, all the way back to the WGCI Music Seminar, which was one of the many contests that EP was talking about. We won that in the year 2000, and he was like a big supporter and fan of our whole flow then, and we just didn't know. I thought that when he first approached me, after I talk about in the documentary about a guy by the name of Cootie, who was a very accomplished film director and documentarian. You know, he was driving the Source truck one summer, and EP and I decided to let him have something he asked, and he asked, can he have our record to play in the Source truck? And the Source, you know, that was the Bible of hip hop then.
Right.
And because Cootie was like, I promise I won't let this out of my sight. I just want to drive the truck and have y'all music playing. I don't want to play all of this other music that they let me. I would rather just play y'all album. Let's promote y'all. And me and EP, I never forget back then, we looked at each other. I remember we was in CRC EP. I remember when we was like, man, that actually is like really good promotion for us, you know. Yeah. And so we had the engineer burn, because we had a little huddle about it, me, her, and Lee, before we left out that studio, because Cootie used to be at our studio sessions, and we burned a copy of the album when we was finished, and we literally handed it to Cootie, because, you know, at that point he was like he had been on our you know, he was on that first album, so it was real. He was around, you know. So the point is, when Kanye was hearing our music off of the Source truck, because it was the back, it was in his photo shoot, and that was the music playing in the background of his photo shoot. That's when he started hearing it. So I'm just telling you that story to say, that's when I thought he was introduced to us. Like, that's how he met us. I had no idea he was at the WGCI music seminar before that. I just didn't know, because EP and I, we had our own squad, our own team. We didn't really, we loved everybody, but didn't pay attention to anybody. Can I say it like that, EP? Like, we loved everybody. We just didn't pay attention to anybody. Like, we didn't need anybody for anything. We had a team we put together. So it was no need to lean on anybody. We just leaned on each other. Right. You know, we had a fully capable squad. So we just didn't look for anybody else. So now we have people checking us out that we had no idea was really like a Kanye, who was already seeing what we were to him before we knew.
But he wasn't even like a Kanye at that point in early 2000s.
Wasn't.
Right.
No.
So
he was the producer.
But y'all was on his mind back then.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Yeah. So, you know, like you mentioned, so a few years back, the last album you guys were about to release. This story, that's when I really was boohooing a little bit. Yeah. Because because I just talked about this on the show the other day, but you know how in Good Times they was almost always at the ghetto. My God.
I don't even know why it's called Good Time.
It wasn't.
James
right. It just wasn't good.
Killed. Keith hurt his leg. It was always something.
It was always something. Yes, you're right.
So it's like, this album was about to be released, and it fell through to financial backing. But what was interesting, the album has some major collabs: Common, John Legend, Kanye, just to name a few.
David Banner.
Homeboy David Banner, that's right. Yeah. And you guys had much success before, but it was about to be like really huge for y'all.
Yeah.
Can you describe in words how much of a disappointment that was for you as a group and then as individually?
Deflated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, as a group, it was. It was equivalent to, like, I guess how a businessman, you know how those businessmen in New York jump out the building when they lose their job.
Yeah.
It was equivalent to like losing it all because we. Still Pan was the name of that album. Still Pan. That was the sophomore effort from us. It was after our first album didn't get handled correctly, but that first album also made a name for us. Although it didn't get handled correctly, it was the record that made a name for us. And so it still served its purpose. So this was our, I love what I said, like on the documentary, it was the coup de grace. It was our moment. And it was a whole lot put into it, especially in planning and execution and, you know, the quality of everything that we did. All of the music on it was live. Like we had got away from, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was crazy.
And as a musician, as a singer, that hurts.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work. And I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, and a matter of fact, shout out to Mississippi McAfee. It was a producer and musician named McAfee. I'll never forget how McAfee came through. You remember McAfee? He came through with a song called The Darkest, wasn't it The Darkest Hour? he remade The Darkest Hour because Kanye had produced that. We would have had 3 songs produced by Kanye on that album. We ended up with 2, but we would have had 3. But DMX, the track we used for The Darkest Hour, he ended up selling the DMX. And at that time, Kanye was still trying to come up as a producer. So the opportunities like that, it was already a spoken. We had already spoke like, hey, if somebody major wants this track, y'all got to let it go, you know.
Right.
And we was like, cool. With me and EP, man, we at that time we felt like we can rap on anything. So we was like, we cool.
Y'all was
like
hungry. Y'all was hungry.
Yeah, we was. Yep. There we go. That's yes. We were so hungry that we was like, hey, so what? If somebody get the track, we'll just switch the track. That was our attitude. And so Mississippi McAfee came in, man, and boy, he played like.
Because I gotta close these windows. It's getting cold in Chicago.
Everything he did on that song was live. So that was one of the many songs that had so much live instrumentation. Basically, with Still Paying Sonya, we had took it up. We were showing our growth. Like we had live music. We had, and I must say, every feature that you named were at the top of their game right at that moment.
Right.
At that moment, that was like their hottest time in their careers right then. And they were all on our album, you know.
That's what hurt me so bad. And look, it hurt me. But I can't even imagine. And you know, like you said, if you feel like those stockbrokers jumping out of a window, it's just like, I can't believe this is happening. You know why? And it's EP. Give me your tell me how it made you feel.
So the after effect of it was something that I felt more than it not happening at that time. Like because the fact that it didn't happen, it was an unspoken rift between OlSkool and I, like Gre and I, because the music is what held us together so long, and the music, the turn that the music was so negative that like it didn't sustain us for right then, you know, and we just like stopped talking. Like it was nothing said, it wasn't anything spoken, like, well, I'm finna go do this and I'm finna go do this. It's just something that happened. And we just looked up and we hadn't talked for a year. And we looked up and then we hadn't talked for 6 months. You know what I mean? So the fact that it didn't happen, you know, the money fell through with Still Paying, it was really, it was deflating. That's the word that I would use. It was deflating, but what was more deflating for me and what was more debilitating for me was the fact of our relationship being hinged upon music at that time.
Right.
And it had to happen that way. Like it was, you know, it had to happen that way. So the fact that the music didn't happen, that was hurtful, and we worked so hard. It was years and years of shine, polish, right? And it was no group like out that could outperform us. You know, they might have had better lyrics, they might have had better beats, but
they
like
had a better situation.
Better situations, the cohesiveness of us that developed from 1990 and those different seasons of people coming
2005.
You know, that's that season of all them different people coming and going,
right?
Losing people. You know how you say your season and people go in and out your life, and for it to end up just us, and with the body of work that we have, and the body of work that we had then, it was something that, like, you start thinking, because of your spiritual base, that maybe this just wasn't meant for me to happen, because all of the pieces were there.
They were there.
You know, and you know, and it didn't happen. So you know, at some point it took a long time, you know, as 2018, 2019, when Greg when OlSkool called me, and it was like, you know, they want to put us out. That's how long it took for it to get out of my system, because literally it's 12 hours before.
So do you think, okay, so and pretty much you just said it, the relationship kind of broke up a little because of unspoken pain, because you said y'all didn't talk.
Yeah, it was kind of like we were both.
It was unspoken pain.
We were both hurt. And then here's the thing: the part that I never said in the documentaries that I always forget to talk about is there was a window where I went to New York with this attitude like, okay, if Abstract Mindstate, I'm gonna go out here and try to make kind of connect the dots, so to speak. Like if this is where it's at, it's in New York, I'm gonna go out there. So I moved to New York, and I didn't move to New York with the intentions of helping Kanye become a superstar. That wasn't my intentions. I went out there taking meetings for Abstract Mindstate, trying to get us
This
find an
was
alternative.
after the failed album.
Yeah, after the failed album, I was
Okay.
trying to find another way to get this, like to the point that
Wow.
actually, as funny as this sound, me and EP was always very comfortable, adamant, and clear about doing everything independent. But after that, it was kind of like, okay, if we got to take a deal, this is where we was. We just wanted to get this project out. I had these relationships, people knew me. So I had some meetings. Everybody knew who we was in those meetings. And it started off real strong. This is what happened. It started off real strong. Everybody expressed interest. They was excited to know we were unsigned. And then they started playing like the chase game where, they wasn't calling, they went from excited to now they not calling back to now they not taking my call to I was starting to feel that little industry, bull. And I was like, oh, here we go again. And right at the same time, Kanye was trying to put a team together. And I started thinking through the ups and downs, I was like, man, it was just like, I can't go through this again. Let me try to take care of myself and grab a situation that's right here in front of me, because this dude is asking me to be a part of something that seemed like it was real. He was already in. That's what me and EP, we had never got our foot. We was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He was actually in the door. He was with Jay-Z. I've been hanging out with him. I'm doing stuff. He's with Jay-Z and the whole Rockefeller family, and they really doing stuff. So I'm like, I started getting a little bit more into like the idea of like, well, maybe I need to think about my life now, and I just kind of like gravitated more towards a sure thing. That's, I just needed we just needed a sure thing at the time, because it had got so crazy. Because although that one stands out as a highlight downfall, EP and I had a whole lot of them. It was a lot. It was a roller coaster ride up into that. So that wasn't the only thing. It's just that
But
one
that's
was
what makes
probably
it hurt even more, because you finally like, you think you can breathe and it's
yeah,
over, and then
yeah,
that happens. So
yeah.
let me ask you this. And I actually asked at the documentary when you at the Q&A, because I really want this to happen. So after we get, the new album out and everybody is buying it and loving it, do you think will you bring that project out again in the near future?
Well,
Yeah,
it's
well,
on Bandcamp.
Huh?
Yeah, it's on Bandcamp. It's available now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm talking about, but I'm saying actually like
releasing it.
releasing it and
I don't think so.
okay.
Yeah, we probably will release it, because how music is. It's things in it that's not
That's from the past.
well, not from the past, but it's a few things that would need to be cleared. There's a lot of stuff attached to that, like all of
Oh,
the
I
artists
see.
that's on it.
Oh, you
We
mean
will have to
okay.
we got to get clearances from all their labels. As long as you're giving it away, nobody can come at you.
Yeah,
But as soon as you're trying to sell it, we got to go back and get clearances for John
From all of
Legend,
them.
Common, David Banner. It's a whole release form. It's a whole, because that record was so many huge
feature.
successful artists on it.
Yeah,
It'd just be too much work. So it just be what Steel Pan has become is a archive record that we can celebrate as this point in our lives. And that's why EP and I decided to put it on Bandcamp with everything we ever did, because all we wanted was people to hear,
Right.
our body of work, So here we are today with the official release with Dream Still Inspire, which is all, it's clear for takeoff, so to speak,
Speaking of that, so I have the album, freaking love it. It reminds me of a lot of the tracks. They remind me of when we were in school, and I smile because I can see y'all, and it's just, and I can, my girls group, and it's just the memories, all of the memories, just it reminds me of that. However, there are a few songs that I play like over and over and over again. So I freaking love Wise Tale.
Yeah, man, that's a
Move your
fun song.
body, move your body. Of course, that's like a homage to Our House song, but it's
Right.
so freaking dope. I love that, and I love what's the other one? I Feel Good. Those are
Uh,
my
yeah,
favorite three. My
right.
favorite three. Um, do we see a tour coming on? Are y'all still working the kinks out with that? What's going on? And y'all do have a video. Do y'all have a video for Wise Tale now?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
The Wise Tale is actually playing on like some of the video stations. It's been playing lately a lot on BET
Yeah.
What?
Then
BET
some BET
Jams. Yeah,
Jams.
yeah. It's been yeah, it's been playing pretty like semi
It's the
regular
heavy
on
road,
BET
heavy road,
Jams.
heavy.
Oh my,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
wow.
And of
So
course, to the listeners, you can go to YouTube, and just put in Abstract Mindstate, a Wise Tale, or just Abstract Mindstate, and scroll. And when you see it, you'll know, oh yeah, Wise Tale, there it is. And watch the video, help us get those views up. And
yeah.
yeah, so it's a really creative video. It's a cool, creative video. We kind of draw.
Shout out to Neeson.
Yeah, shout out to Neeson, the director. We drew inspiration. You remember the 80s song "Your Take on Me"? Aha. You
Mm-hmm.
remember that?
I used to love
That's what.
Aha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aha was the joint, and they had that video where they used some technology back then that was really a big deal. It was called sketch animation, so it kind of looks like
Oh
the,
yeah. When they used
so that was always like one of my favorite videos ever. And so I was telling EP about it, and I was saying, man, what you think about us trying this concept of that sketch animation like Aha Take on Me? Because EP is a big 80s buff too. And she was like, man, that's crazy. I like it. So we made that happen. So in the Wise Tale video, it's the Neeson created a story around that one concept is where we come in, was the sketch animation part. That was our contribution to it, but all the credit goes to him for creating stories around just the idea we wanted to see visually. Yeah, so yeah.
That's interesting. What's amazing about this album is the fact, and y'all talked about it at the documentary. It's not just going to be people our age like vibing to this and loving it, but it's going to be younger kids, because a lot of this stuff is trash, and I'm sorry, it is. I know, them y'all peoples or whatever, but it's trash. A lot of the songs out. What I loved, and we grew up in the renaissance of hip hop. We grew up. I was 8 years old when I first heard to the hip hop. I'm
Right.
listening to this. I'm listening to Grandmaster Flash. Curtis Blow. We grew up with that.
Right.
So we listened to music that, the beat was different. We had never heard anything like that before. But what was beautiful about it, they had something to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your album, you're saying something. And that's like, it's a lot of songs. The tracks are, like, dang, that's a club banger. But I like to listen to stuff that's gonna feed me. And I don't just listen to songs because of a track. This album, it feeds me. It's reminiscent for me. It's nostalgic. It's everything. Like Kanye say, it's gonna save this world. It's gonna change this world. It's music that we need right now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm really excited about what's happening. Do we see a tour coming on soon, guys?
Oh yeah, that's funny. Funny you should ask that question. Because we're working on one of our favorites to listen to, in terms of just like when we want to just vibe out to some good hip hop, is the group Slum Village. That's like one of our favorite groups, because they just have that vibe. Jay Dilla created something with, rest in peace to Jay Dilla. He created something with that group, and he literally left that group here for us, and the group carries on. And we just happen to be blessed and I guess steadfast and ready enough to, it came full circle, and now we have the opportunity to go on tour with Slum Village. So we're about to go out with them. Yeah.
Now, what cities is it a mini tour, and is it like certain cities y'all going to right now, or?
Yeah, so it's going to be in stages. Like our very first date that's locked in just for us to do a show together is in November 24th. We're going to do a show in Detroit. This is going to be Slum. I think the Roots is on this show too. It's going to be the Slum Village, Abstract, and the Roots. From what I was told, but it's definitely an Abstract Slum Village show. But I think the Roots have been put on this show with us, and that's just something to just kick it off. Feel the vibe of Abstract and Slum, and this is the duo, the two groups that's about to go out. And so in December, we're supposed to do, because everything is being implemented now, we're supposed to do like 8 to 11 dates in December. And then going into 2022, we're doing 50 dates. It'll be a 50 date tour, and 18 of those dates are in Europe. So yeah, so it's actually a world tour, and we'll have an actual schedule. We're in the process of getting our the website set up. Our website is really just going to be for merch, but it's going to have our tour. There's going to be another tab for you to click, like, to see what's going on with us in terms of touring, and those dates will be available. So people will soon be able to go to abstractmindstate.com and just keep up with not only supporting us and getting some merch and enjoying getting some of our limited edition of vinyl cassettes and CDs. Yeah. So, but you'll be able to get merch and everything and see the tour
earlier, because people been inboxing me talking about t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. Dion Cole, he did a cameo on the album, but what I love what he said, and that has stuck with me since Miami: age has no vibe.
Oh man,
it has no vibe.
Yeah.
The society has told us it has one,
right?
But we still have a voice,
and
you have something to say, and it's just inspirational for what y'all doing. I'm excited because, we were trying to do it last year. My girls group Mystery, we were trying to do something for my birthday, but COVID happened.
Oh,
we actually been, people been like doing, but now that y'all done this, it's on.
It's funny.
When we get together, but still, okay, so when y'all, look how EP looking at me like, no, Sonia. I want to come on, I'm known for that. And I got a little rap, but I don't want to say it on here because people are trying to bite. But I'll tell you, look at her. I started doing it in the cafeteria in high school, but so it's 80-ish, but whatever. So, but before we go, I gotta say this though. So y'all, Greg, he try to be all hard, and I'm hip hop, but he's a big softy. I forgot what he said at the thing, and I was like, and I started crying. His eyes started batting fast, and he turned away from me. And that wasn't our first encounter. We cried again. This was years ago. Remember that?
Yeah, the gas station.
It was homecoming, EP, and I didn't go to homecoming, and I didn't know he was here. This was like, what, 99, 98?
Yeah, something like that.
And I went to go get some gas, and I was coming out the gas station, and I looked, and I said, Greg, and we ran to each other like Celie and her sister on Color Purple. Right. I'm talking about me and this dude, y'all. The time we went to Chicago with Groove and
oh
Terrence.
Man, that was the funniest ride on
the
planet Earth.
The funniest EP.
First of all, and I was with Groove, DI, and Terrell.
Where is he?
Oh no, he's the one I don't know. DI, and I even want to say, somebody said something about Groove, but they possible now. Terrell.
Oh, I know. I mean, I talked to Groove. Terrell, well, you know, EP, he was a small man in stature,
He was
and
Terrell
he had
was
this girl. He he had on this little cute lavender jacket that he wore driving, but he played Prince songs like the first hour or so. So they was cracking up. I was enjoying it because I'm a Prince fan. I was like, oh, but they was just joning on him. But the times I've had with Greg, I'm talking about the laughter, the fun. It's
yeah,
been amazing,
man.
and I'm so proud of y'all. I
Yeah,
really
thank you.
am. But before we go, EP, you know, we're gonna talk a little sports. We know Greg don't care nothing about it because this is
Nah.
a sports show. You need to get it together. And I'm gonna tell the people what you did in Miami after we beat FAMU. You just wait a minute. But you left before the game. You know, you didn't get a chance to go to the game. But what are your thoughts on
I actually watched it on the plane. The
oh,
entire
you did? Oh,
game.
you did? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the team? What Coach Prime is doing? And actually, it's his first year. I mean, his first anniversary today. This is the day he announced that he was coming. You know, we had the conference and
Oh,
everything,
wow.
press conference. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the team? How do you feel about what Coach is doing in not only for Jackson State but in the SWAC?
So I appreciate him, a person of his like athletic prowess,
Right.
coming to a HBCU to coach, because it's gonna start happening. We already seen it.
Eddie
It's about to
George.
start happening, and it's basically paying it forward. I mean, he went to Florida State.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He went to FSU. You know, he didn't go to a HBCU.
Right.
But not only did he see the need I mean, think about the people that did, right, go to HBCUs. They hold all of the NFL records, especially NFL.
Right.
You know, like if they don't hold them now, they did for years.
Right.
Before they were broken.
Mhm.
Walter Payton, Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? Like you can't like really get away from the impact that football players have made on the NFL.
That's right.
That came through HBCUs and the SWAC especially.
Especially.
Right.
Steve McNair.
Steve
Yeah,
Magnet,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I look forward to this being not being a misnomer, like a regular thing with coaching. And I hope that it generalizes to other sports.
Absolutely.
Football.
Well, and they're not the first NFL player, they're the first Hall of Famers.
Okay.
You had what's the man name that he was a Grambling coach. It's been several NFL players.
Eddie George.
Not Eddie, no, Eddie George is the Hall of Famer. Him and Dion are the first Hall of Famers.
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams. I forgot the other guy. He was at Southern. So they're not the first. They're the first Hall of Famers. I can't think of his name right now. And but they weren't hot, you know, so that's the difference.
Roger Staubach.
You know what? That's why, see.
Doug Flutie. Okay.
And we're talking about Black coaches.
My
went
bad.
way back to the 80s and 90s.
Fluky.
I was just trying to help out, you know.
But it's you know, it's amazing what they're doing and the attention that they're bringing to HBCUs. Because when we were in Miami and I was in the suite, what's so funny? It's two TVs. Grambling and Tennessee TSU, which is Eddie George School. They're playing on NFL Network, and then we're on ESPN too. I'm like, this has never happened. Two SWAC schools on NFL Network and ESPN on the same day at the same time.
Yes.
Has never happened.
Yeah.
And we're getting, and you know what's so interesting, they're talking, you know, now, well, one reason why he came here, one of the reasons I think he came here is because he didn't, first of all, he has no coaching experience. He didn't have any, not collegiate. And so especially head coaching. So for him, he had to start somewhere. And it's amazing how I'm confused with some SWAC schools. They're angry. They was like, he's not coming to no Jackson State. That was first. Then
Yeah.
when he announced, it was announced that he was coming, well, he ain't gonna do nothing because he ain't never been a coach before. Then when they started seeing things happen, well, he not gonna stay. Okay, we understand everything that you're saying, but why? He's helping all of us, not just Jackson State.
Yeah, it's not just Jackson State. Yeah.
It's not just, it's all HBCUs, and again, especially SWAC schools. So I really wish we can all get on the same page and stop. I mean, I understand because we like to, speaking of that, when we beat FAMU, this one and Lee harassing FAMU fans. What were y'all saying to them?
We told them that
It was like, hey, that shirt you got on, what did you say?
We'll burn it for them for free.
So this is me while I'm standing there, EP. Good game. They didn't mean it. Good game. I'm trying to keep peace because these people looking at them like.
And we was like, hey, FAMU, we're from Jackson State University, and if you were to get up out those shirts and put them right here on this, what was it, like a sewer cap, we'll set it on fire and burn them for you for free, no charge at all.
I'm like, could you please? So that's the enjoyment he had.
So
So I like the verbal banter, but when it comes to serious stuff like this, like what he's doing for the SWAC and the HBC, come on, y'all, let's come together on this. Let's
watch this. I gotta throw your brother under the bus. So your brother Rodney Foster Jr. from that's the joke. Look, I'm just gonna make him a junior. That's a joke we be doing. Rodney Foster Jr. I'm gonna throw him under the bus right now. They were all over here yesterday watching football. And like, again, as y'all know, like I'm in more into the social aspect of it. So the fellows was over. We had the, they had the beers and the drinks going. And
okay, that's your crib.
Yeah, my crib. So we was watching. They had the games on, and the conversation came up exactly what you was talking about. Do we think primetime will stay? Because they were saying now, I guess, I mean, you guys would know better than me. I guess it's some kind of knock on the door of Florida State asking him to come over there.
Right.
And I said no. I stood strong on it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a sports guy, but I was like, I don't think so. They was like, well, why not? I was like, because I was like, I'm sure he probably tried that. Well, yeah, he didn't have the experience to go there. So I said, regardless of the experience, he's still prime time and he knows he's him. So I'm sure he tried. We didn't see that, but I bet you he tried.
He tried.
And I just stood on that. I was like, I bet you he's prime time. He's him. Prime time. Let's not play. That's prime time. You know who he was. So I was like, he tried. I said, and I'm sure that his old school as well as several turned him down. And I ain't saying HBCU definitely wasn't a second. It was just an option. So when he tried one of us, and Jackson State particularly, I guess showed him the love that he was looking for. I think that alone is going to keep him there. And I'm going to tell you and throw your brother under the bus. He literally said, nah, dog, if FSU give him that check, he gone. I was like, wow.
It's not even about the money.
I was like, it's not even about, that's what I said. I said, it's not about the money.
He don't need no check. And on top of that, he
just on the Aflac commercial yesterday.
Right.
Man, Dion can care less. Dion can care less about money.
He talked about it and he said, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, he said it. Okay, so he said it.
This was yesterday. He said, I'm not going anywhere.
I need to play that for Rodney.
I love the culture of SWAC, of Jackson State, and my sons are here. One of his sons left South Carolina to come and play.
So when you get down to the core of being a human is wanting to feel accepted.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Wanting to feel needed.
And now y'all want him.
There you go. You just said, EP, she just said, that's what I was standing on. I was like, yo, they a place he probably, I'm sure he tried. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that was his first try. Simply because
he from there.
He's from there. I don't even blame him. He's from there. Like, that's just like saying you from Chicago and you don't want to play for the Bulls or the Bears. Like, come on, you're from Chicago. Right. So if you end up playing for Philly, okay, fine. But you probably wanted to be on the Bulls or the Bears or whatever sports team we
Right.
had. And Rodney was like, I was like, nah, that's what we were saying on the porch. It was a couple of us. We was just on my balcony. We was like, dude, money? Like, are you serious? Like, that's fine. Like, money? Like, it's not about money. It's like what
It's not
EP
even
said. It
about
was
money
about
with him.
acceptance and
Definitely
feeling
not.
wanted and needed, you know?
Definitely not about
So,
money.
so please play that clip, because I know you being who you are with She Say. Play that clip for Rodney and drive it through his heart.
And
let
not
him hear
only that, he said God sent him here.
See, boom.
So if
Boom.
if God sent you somewhere, then you gonna sit down until he say, okay, it's time to go. But he's not getting ready to go nowhere.
There you go.
No.
There
He's
you
not,
go.
I mean, he said I mean, all they do is eat soul food. He does inspirational videos a lot. So one Sunday, about 3 weeks ago, he was like, I got a lot to say today. So I'm ready. I'm listening. I'm like, okay, what coach about to say? He said, it's been on my heart all this morning, but which one of y'all can give me some soul food today? Who house can I come to? I said, this. I mean, baby, they eat. Do you hear me? They eat good.
Hey, he gonna thicken them boys up now. They gonna be able to take a sack.
Right. But so EP, moving to our Bears. You are still a Bears fan, right?
Never was.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Who is your team?
Wherever Tom Brady plays.
Oh my, you know what? And that clowns, not clown.
Wait a minute. Let
me tell you.
If you by clown, if by clown you mean goat, okay.
Touche. But you know what I love, Tom, they asked Tom, would he still be playing at age 50 last week? And Tom said,
Ask Giselle.
And he said, well, whatever makes me happy, she'll be happy. I'm sorry, baby. But the man is what, 44 now?
Yes.
43, 44?
44.
So if he goes till 50, I want him out of the NFL, period. I want him gone. I want him and Aaron Rodgers, I want them out.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all. But I think after he wins this year, he's gonna retire. Because nobody.
Praise God.
How many he got now? 6, 7? How many rings he got?
7.
So no other quarterback is gonna ever get 7. Like they that's not gonna happen.
Well, praise God. I'm glad he's about to.
What about Willie Gault? Let's get Willie Gault back in the game. What's going on?
Baby Willie. Now I know Dion said age vibes don't have an age. But Willie can't do it, baby. I'm sorry, his knees probably so bad.
Oh, if he got knees.
Look, Dion looking for a scooter, asking for a friend, then put hashtag Coach Prime. He looking for a scooter today. So I mean,
let's get Willie Gault back in this thing. I know science can fix my man.
Okay, all right. Well, Vince Evans. Let's go get Vince Evans, the quarterback.
Oh, really? Well, let's get Keith from Good Times. Let's get him back.
Let's get Keith from Good Times now.
Yeah, Keith would have been fine if he never met the Evans.
Right, exactly.
Fine. He wouldn't have been no drunk or nothing. Keith would have been
around with them Evans, boy.
We ain't gonna talk about my Bears since she's not a fan. We ain't gonna even talk about the Bears.
No, but listen, we can. I'm a fan of football though. That defense showed up and showed out.
Yes.
Listen,
baby.
That's what they need. That's what they need. Justin gonna do his thing. He got to go through the fire. He gonna do his thing. But when I watched him on draft night, and I watched him watch everybody that passed him. And when the Bears picked him, I saw a look on his face like, I'm gonna make all their ass pay for not picking him.
He said, watch.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he's gonna do it. Like they're gonna do well with him.
And I'm so excited. I'm so ready.
So the defense was killing it. What did William the Refrigerator Perry do the other night?
Oh my gosh.
What did he do on defense?
He was at the dentist.
What did he do on defense?
And looking in his refrigerator.
Yeah, he was.
You're so sick. Before I let y'all go, I play this game called You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That. And what it is, it's just a way for me and the listeners to get to know our guests better. So I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the one that best fits you. You ready?
Ready.
All right.
Okay. Performing in front of a 20,000 crowd or intimate crowd?
Ooh.
I knew both of y'all.
See, so let me tell you why we can't answer that right away. Because
You about to do that.
the intimate crowds are harder. Because it's too much, it's a lot of focus on you.
And everybody
you know,
watching you.
Everybody is watching. They can zone right in. But the larger crowds are fun, and the type of
free.
Yeah, you can be free in the type of call and response and crowd. So that's a hard question.
But you got to choose one.
We got to choose one.
You know what? I'm gonna say the intimate. I'm gonna say the intimate crowd because that's what we've rocked.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna match her on that one because it's kind of like for us. I actually like zoning in. Like I'm unafraid to look at that person. You know what I'm saying? You know how artists, we are artists, and you know how one of the tricks of an artist is to look over
their head.
You look over them, and it looks like you're looking at them, but you're really not looking at anything specific. I actually be like right at them, like I see you, like you know.
I don't, and see, I'm the opposite. My cousin Dewana, because she still sings with me. We sing together, and she like, how do you be? It doesn't bother you like when people are look. I said, I don't look at anybody. I'm looking over their heads. And but it looks like I'm looking at them.
It looks like you're looking at them, yeah.
But when I sing for the Mavericks, that's 20,000 people. I can't see anybody's face, and I'm free.
Right.
And it doesn't bother me. So I can sing without. But if you be like people like sing, I hate that because everybody looking at me. I cannot.
Right. Yes. So intimate. We'll both go with intimate.
We can get with that.
Okay.
Right.
Original music or remix?
Original.
Definitely original, yeah. Definitely original.
Why?
Because you know how the saying goes, it's nothing like the original version of anything.
Right.
The remixes is fun and it's nice to stretch it out, but it's nothing like the original version of anything. Yeah, you know what I mean? The original, even with cars, with everything closed, the original vintage, whatever it is, it's always like, ooh, and the new ones are nice, or the remixes is nice, but
it's you're right.
Nothing like the original.
We can give
it. She said we can. I love it. So vinyl, or get this, Apple Music.
Come on
definitely
yes,
vinyl.
Come on now.
That mug said Apple Music, and she couldn't even get it out without laughing.
No,
she has to look. She was already laughing. DP. She was laughing that she was about to ask.
Because
Gino a Stagagacci.
Real music people, vinyl is like the god of all things you put music on. Now, Apple Music, I like it because it's right at my fingertips. I'm at work, I can do whatever, I can play it, but it's nothing like vinyl.
Vinyl versus Apple Music.
The needle on the record and the on the needle.
Yeah, vinyl to Apple Music is the same as my feelings for analog to digital, because digital just is too clean.
It's too
just
clean.
like like with the vinyl we get the pops and the grittiness, and Apple Music is so squeaky clean. Same thing with analog. You getting that warmth. You get warmth with analog. The digital, there's no plug-in to get that warmth that analog, which is vinyl, that it gives you.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. So
hit it, EP. Say it.
We can get
that. So I love that. So this is a good one because they've been talking about it in the last week. Jermaine Dupri or Diddy as a producer?
Jermaine Dupri.
I'm gonna go with Jermaine Dupri.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with Jermaine Dupri. I have to, because Jermaine Dupri. Okay. Now I use the homies for this. The reason I trip out when people try to talk crazy about Kanye creating Yeezy, the shoes Yeezy, not just the brand, the clothes and all that, but the shoes Yeezy. The reason I give him so much props with Yeezy as opposed to everybody else, even the basketball players, is his was from scratch. His was from scratch. Kanye created those designs out of nowhere, out of his head, with his team, whatever ideas they threw in the bowl. The outcome was a new way of looking at sneakers or whatever. So in reference to Jermaine Dupri and Diddy, man, Diddy did a great job of taking old classic songs and you know, and chopping them up and representing old songs a new way. That was just his lane and he killed it. Props to that. But Jermaine over here, from scratch.
Jermaine created groups.
Yes.
Man.
Biggie was a star, whoever would have got him.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It didn't matter that it was Puff. That's a real good.
Matter. It didn't. He was already a star.
That's a great point.
He was already.
Biggie could have been with Rockefeller, and he was gonna be that. He was gonna be that big.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
but Jermaine Dupri found escape.
Little kids and made them stars.
Crisscross.
He
I remember us,
Silk
at Jackson State. You remember we was wearing our pants backwards because of crisscross.
Yeah.
Crisscross. Like you know, his first group, Silk Times Leather was his first group. You know, Silk Times Leather, them girls.
Oh yeah.
Silk Times, that was his first group ever. And he, you know, he saw something there and he from scratch. That's what I'm saying. He just get prop. Jermaine Dupri is
the brat. You mean it just like
it just keeps going. It keeps going. And when he got a hold to our people who already had their thing going on, he took them to the next level. Usher, when him and Usher get together, it's a next level project. When him and Mariah get together, it's a next level project.
Maybe that 2005 Mariah.
Man, when you see what I'm saying? So Jermaine Dupri is that.
You go find him.
Man, he the Baker's man. He
didn't do too good with Janet Jackson album. I didn't understand.
No, he didn't. But you know why? I the reason Jermaine, No, he said because they was in love. No, because Janet Jackson's musical muse is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
That's true.
They found
what I mean?
They got a thing.
They got a thing.
They have a marriage.
NBC.
They have a yeah, they have a marriage. It's certain group. Every group has that producer. We had that with
Tony Braxton and Babyface.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Look, A. Marie and Rich Harrison. When they took them two apart, A. Marie it just didn't hit.
Where's she at?
It didn't hit the same, you know.
I follow her on IG, but yeah,
listen, but I love A. Marie. Like she gave us some. I love her, and I actually liked her first two albums. The second album, Rich Harrison, they was already split up, but she did good. A. Marie was.
I didn't get into her until One Thing. That was in 2005.
That was on the second album. That was the second album.
That album.
That's the second album. That album was great. Yeah.
I still bang that like it's new. That is my song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
80s or 90s hip hop.
90s.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 90s, I guess. Yeah, 90s. I had to think about it because all of the guys that I love and idolize came from the 80s. But the songs I seem to never forget is the 90s though.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to move on, but 90s was like a love story to hip hop. It was like Tribe Called Quest. They rapping over jazz beats.
Yeah.
That freaked me out because, mind you, that's one of my favorite genres, jazz, and I love hip. And I was like, oh my! So that's one of my favorite groups. Yeah. You know, it was just the music was. It was evolving. It was, and of course, well, we had our gangster rap start.
Variety, like the
large variety.
Yeah, we always had. And okay, I want to. At this point, we can go all the way back to the beginning when you was like, this stuff now is trash, and most people don't get why us when I say us individuals that was of the golden era. They think we trying to be not let go of the past, but we were groomed from a place of variety and originality. Mm-hmm. And the problem with now is
everybody doing the same thing.
Yeah, they too comfortable sounding the same. They're down to their.
They try to sound the same.
Yeah, they actually try to sound the same. Back then, it was a cardinal sin to sound anything like another group.
Mm-hmm.
Another group.
I hate it.
Yeah. So
and
it
that
just
makes sense.
Yeah. So they don't get it. I think they think our age, our generation, try to hate on them.
Stuck. No, we're not.
It's
we're
not
not
that.
hating on y'all. And
no, we're not stuck.
one thing about it, the old MCs, they can spit out a rhyme like me. You know, I could do it off the dome. Look at EP. Wait, look at Grant, look at EP. Off the dome. But if
did you hear her say old MCs like me? She said.
Yeah.
But if you ask them to do it, they be like,
oh,
I ain't gotta do, I ain't gotta do that because they can't do it.
Please. They're more popularity than pop, you know. Exactly. And I mean pop in the correct sense. Pop is a good thing in the correct sense. And they more popularity than pop. They don't know how to, they just popular.
They're just popular. That's it.
They're just popular. They're not popping. They just popular. You know.
This is a piece of home. Lou Malnati. I mean, and I can say it, or Giordano's.
Lou Malnati's for me. Lou Malnati's for me. Lou Malnati's for me.
Giordano's for me and Home Run In.
But my favorite is Home Run In. Home Run In is my favorite pizza.
Yeah.
Period.
I almost put that, but I was like, no, I'm gonna put.
But I figured you did those two because they are similar.
Yeah.
The two you picked. But Home Run In is my favorite. EP know that. My favorite pizza in Chicago is Home Run In, hands down.
Mine too.
Like, that's because it's, as strange as it sounds, I'm one of the handful of people in Chicago that don't care about deep dish, and they think everybody in Chicago love deep dish, and I really don't. I really don't care. I love
Home Run In. That's my favorite.
Home Run In, man.
Harold's Chicken or E&L's Wings in Jackson.
Ooh, that's it. You know what, yo?
Oh yeah. You gotta make a decision.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say this.
I'm turning my camera off.
I'm like, look,
that answered the question.
Well, look, I'm gonna say this, and they're gonna kill me, but I got a reason. Watch this. They're gonna kill me. Woo. Okay, I'm gonna give a disclaimer. I'm gonna say E&L because Harold's, you have to go to the right Harold's. Like, it's so many of them, you got to go to the right. It's certain ones, and everybody knows on whatever side of town which one to go to out of all of them. And it's only a few that still taste like Harold's that made us love Harold's.
Right.
E&L is one place, and it always tastes amazing every single time. And watch this EP. The one thing I love, I'm gonna let you say this. E&L versus Harold's. Harold's are so stingy. You tell them extra mouth sauce, they just squirt that thing on there. E&L, they dip your chicken. They dunk that. They dunk that chicken down in their
what kind of sauce is that? I'm getting some E&Ls when we go to Jackson. Like, let me ask you a question. What is that sauce on E&L?
I don't know. That's what I'm finna. Y'all
know what's the closest thing to E&L's?
What?
It was Farmer Brown.
Farmer Brown.
Exactly like.
Listen, Farmer Brown. Listen, I proudly said no, Sonia. This was this spot in Chicago, and it was only one. It was right there on what's the little crooked street?
Right back of Greeny Green, Clybourne.
Yeah, I
on
never
that
little
crooked street, whatever that look. Clybourne. Look, Sonia, this place is called Farmer Brown's. When I tell you, and they dipped theirs. Theirs was totally covered. They dipped it. Yeah. That dip now E&L dipping it in that boiling sauce they dip. And they ask you if you want your fries dipped, and you say yeah, and they just
yeah.
They just ladle those things. They just take that sauce and just ladle it.
Well, I have a confession. My first time eating E&L was 2016, and I hated it.
Oh no!
I'm a Harold's girl, but listen. Oh, man. Look how she looked off. So a lot of people already said they took my black card. Whatever, that's fine. It was gross. I had the rib tips. It was nasty, but everybody said the wings are still good. Yeah, they said the wings are still good. So
I ain't never had the rib tips.
I don't think I've ever had barbecue from E&L's, and
I haven't either.
I don't think I.
Well,
I haven't either.
Yeah, well,
I've only had sauce. I ain't never had barbecue.
Apparently, that's why when you was like, "What kind of sauce?" I was like, "I don't know." I mean, guess who ate it before I did? I went and got Bobby Brown and Ronnie DeVoe some when they were here in 2012. I still didn't eat any. I was like, So I ate it, but I don't want to do it anymore. Summertime Shy or Sunny Los Angeles? for both of y'all.
Man. Summertime Shy, man.
I was trying to see if he had went Hollywood. I'm just
summertime. You can't beat the Summertime Shy. It's a lot. It's so much going on. It's just
amazing.
So much to do.
So much going on.
I tell people that I'm like, y'all don't understand. Forget about what they talking about, all these shootings and stuff. Guess where I was in March? I just needed to get away. I found a cheap ticket to Chicago for $130. I went there for the week just to. Now, mind you, we're still in, pandemic. I went from my couch to another couch just in Chicago. I just wanted to. Missed my.
What you eat? What you eat when you?
I ate Lou's. I ate. It was a new spot near my friend's house. It was good, but I be wanting to hit my grease spots. I want my Polish sausage, but I did get some Lou's. And then I just picked up eating crab legs. You black people, y'all done got fancy eating crab legs and what's the new? What else y'all be eating now?
Love them.
Oh, lamb chops.
Yes.
The lamb chops. So I wanted crab legs, but I couldn't get them. But that's just home to me. I didn't grow up there. My family is there, but that's home to me. And Summertime Shy is nothing like.
Ain't nothing like the Shy in the summer.
Is Eddie's and Ruby's still right there on Valley Fish House?
No, Eddie's and Ruby's is gone. It's called
is Valley Fish House right there?
No, it's still there.
No, Eddie. No, look. Listen. Eddie's and Ruby's is still there, but Lawrence, Big L had bought it, and it just wasn't the same. How he bought it?
When?
This was before the pandemic, whatever homecoming we was at before the pandemic.
No,
we were there. Ask Rodney. We were there.
No, he's saying it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
But somebody else bought it.
Somebody
bought
it. It's
Eddie's
not Eddie's
and Ruby's though, right?
Yeah, but it's not Eddie's and Ruby's.
I always like Valley Fish better. The pan trout.
And I always like Lawrence Fishery was the best one to me.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Eddie, so he bought it. Okay, it's still, but how does it taste now since Mr. Eddie gone?
It don't taste the same. It was decent, but it ain't the same. Ask all of the boys, because we was doing that famous, because we always take that picture on the wall.
Step, one leg on the wall.
The one leg up on the, and we were there, and Lawrence Big L, he bought it. He bought the place, and it just, matter of fact, they had us waiting there for hours. There was so many people out there waiting for hours, and he was late. Because it was like, I want to say after the game or something, he was late opening the place, just like.
Yeah.
Did you get some owls?
Some, yes. Matter of fact, while they was waiting all that time for Eddie's and Ruby's, I just said, forget it. I don't want this, because Lawrence Fisher was my favorite anyway. And I went to Big Al. And everybody wanted.
My cousin, the founder of Stamps Burger, you went to Stamps Burgers or Big Al?
He passed away that was
ago.
behind the school that they didn't reopen.
Yeah, that's Stamps Burger. Big Al used to be his sons on McWillie. But yeah, he passed away a few months ago. So
them your folks?
That's Sonia Stamps. Yeah, that's my people. They're my cousins.
Damn, they used to go and they used to pull that damn freezer open and pull that patty out there. Gree, tell about the first time. My first time.
Boy, that place, they had them dusty cans.
Tell her about my first time.
Oh, that mug came up in there. She was like, oh man, what's going on in here? And then EP gonna say, she dogged out the place and we was like, I'm telling you, it's good. She looked, she said, I want 2. We was like, EP.
Oh, you ain't gonna be able to do it.
Like, EP, I was dead.
Look, we said, EP, don't do it. She's like, no, I want 2. We was like, I'm telling you, you can't eat 2. She told me, Elite, I'm gonna eat 2. Okay, EP. She went in there the first time, ordered 2 of them. She got through that first burger, and then she gonna start opening the other one. Me and Lee looked like, what? EP took 1 bite and fell over. she just like a weeble. She just
baby, you can't. I've seen dudes can't even finish a whole one. They be like, it's just it was. And now
I was trying to tell people the meat would be this thick. The meat would be about 3 inches, 2 inches thick, just the meat.
Yeah, they got turkey burgers now.
That's all I eat. That's all I eat is a turkey burger.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, it's.
I will be getting me one of those.
Yeah, I'll be there with you.
I'm gonna get that and some E&Ls.
I'll be there with you. It's all clean in there now, though.
Yeah, it's nice now. You can
It's
keep that
clean.
E&L, buddy.
It ain't dusty in there no more with them cans that look like they never got picked up ever.
Don't
in
do my
history.
family. Don't do it. Don't do it. I got two more, y'all. Performing live or lip syncing.
Come on.
Definitely. That mug is hilarious. She tickling herself. Look.
I cannot get
because you know these new rappers, that's what they do.
They be rapping over their track. I'm like, what that? Okay, well, yeah, performing live.
Okay, you like it. I already know. Look, EP.
I don't even want to deal with it.
Okay, fine. Last but not least, The College Dropout or Donda.
Yay.
Oh, definitely College Dropout.
Okay, I was gonna say
100% the College Dropout.
My favorite album, honestly, like even one of my favorite songs, Spaceship, College Dropout, but like whole album, it
Are you like yay?
Yeah, it does it for me.
Well, I tell you, as funny as it sounds, one of my favorite albums is 808s.
I know.
You know that, right? 808s is my favorite. Like that was something else, man, and it was just something else. And it birthed everybody now.
He always seemed to change shit.
Yeah.
He always seemed to change shit. Motherfuckers, people saying like Donda this, Donda that. Boy, it's gonna be some people working on some Donda stuff right now.
Right. Right. Yeah, the College Dropout though, between those two though. I
absolutely. Mine too. Guys, it has been a freaking blast. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Now are you getting here that Wednesday homecoming?
Thursday.
I think we
Thursday. Okay.
We get that Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna we supposed to do a screening in the Union of the documentary.
I'll be there.
Yeah, so there we go. It's gonna be a blast.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. We're supposed to be on the radio too. We'll be on Hot 97 on that Thursday that we get there, talking about what we're gonna be doing that weekend. So
cool.
And the album. So
awesome. Well, I'm proud of y'all. So proud. Maybe Ia let me spit a little bit. I don't know. She kind of got an attitude about it. But we'll see. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna let you hear it and see what you think. Greg get on my nerves.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
You said what? You looking forward to?
She promised.
I promise I
love y'all so much. Greg, tell your mom. Tell your mom I said hello.
Will do.
Okay.
Will do.
I'll talk to you
lady.
Soon. Bye.
Yep. Love is love, girl.
Love you. All right.
Peace. Love you too.
She say, sports. She say, sports. She say, sports.